ranks of Israel, why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he's able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us. Then the Philistines said, this day I defy the ranks of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other. On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah. Jesse had 8 sons, and in Saul's time he was old and well advanced in years. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to the war. The first was Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. For 40 days, the Philistine came forward and every morning and evening took his stand. Wow. So, 1 Samuel 17 sets up the characters for us. We've got God's people who are Israel, and they view themselves as the agents of the one true God, Yahweh, on the world. Israel views themselves as God's people. They're the ones who are supposed to bring about God's will on the earth. Something else you need to understand as a fact of war in the ancient world is that when 2 people did battle, they viewed that as if the gods of those opposing people were actually doing battle themselves. So if you have the people of Hermes doing battle against the people of Athena, and Hermes' people win, everybody views that as Hermes triumphing over Athena. And Athena cries in heaven because she loses. Anyway, so here on the opposite sides of the Valley of Elah, we have Israel and we have the Philistines. So they're viewing this as the God of Israel versus the God of the Philistines, which is very convenient if you're a Philistine. They want to settle this in single combat, which is sort of a way to prevent a lot of bloodshed. It's a humane fashion of war. So they send out, and it's very convenient they happen to have a 10-foot tall guy who's going to do single combat for them. Like, oh, of course we should settle this in single combat. Why get involved with this whole army versus army thing? Let's just pick our impossibly large man and put him against somebody that cannot take him. It's obvious no one can take Goliath. He's huge. He's enormous. He's a giant. I mean, this guy is intimidating, he is impressive, and he comes out and starts trash talking. Well, now, if you are an Israelite, this is my observation about God. If you're an Israelite, here's what I'm thinking. Because I've been in this situation before. I've been up against some impossible circumstance, some impossible thing, and I've wondered what the heck's going on, and I claim to serve a God who is alive and is in heaven and is still working on behalf of people here on earth. And so I've occasionally said, well, God, do something for me. Help me out, bail me out, do something, move on my behalf. Help me overcome this horrible situation, this obstacle I cannot overcome. Move, do something, work from heaven, down here on earth. So you're an Israelite. You are one of the people that considers yourself one of the people of the one true God. And now here's this 10-foot tall guy with an attitude problem over there, hurling insults at God. According to you, who is the most qualified character in the story to deal with the 10-foot tall guy? Well, I would venture God. He's the creator of heaven and earth. He's a little bit bigger than 10 feet tall. Up to this point, the Israelites have seen all kinds of dramatic God moments. Like fire from heaven. They've seen the ground open up and swallow people whole. They've seen lightning bolts and clouds and all kinds of drama. So you're an Israelite. You're going, all right. Lightning bolt anywhere? God, do you not see the 10-foot tall guy hurling insults at you? Because he's pretty terrifying. I'm scared. Do something! And you're crying out to heaven and you're waiting for God to show up and solve the problem. So here's the deal. If you're the kind of person that views God as the guy who's playing chess with himself in the sky, it is his problem. It is his doing. You're waiting for him to move. But no lightning bolts come. No fire from heaven. The earth does not open up and swallow him whole. For 40 days, this guy comes and talks trash. So what is going on? Now we have been there. We've been to a point where, we hear all these stories about prayers that have been answered. But what about when our prayers aren't answered? It's not cute anymore then. I'm just as desperate. I'm just as well-meaning. I have just as good of intentions, and I'm praying, and their prayers answered, and mine don't. So what's going on? And this is a problem. We wrestle with this. We struggle with this idea. Where is God? What's He doing? How does His will come about? And we pray things like, oh Lord, if it's your will, strike Goliath with lightning. But if it's not your will, we'll just know, because there won't be any lightning. And we'll just live with it. So maybe you start to wonder if God sort of wants Goliath to come and kill all of us in our sleep. Maybe that's what He intends. Maybe that's just the lot we drew. Maybe we're bad and Goliath's here to punish us. But what if we're misunderstanding God completely? See, if you know the story, you know that God is at work here. God is doing something. But He's doing something in a way that people might not expect Him to act. See, instead of a lightning bolt, God has decided to use a teenager. Of all people. Seriously. Like, people think that David was like maybe 14 or 16 at this point. I know a lot of 14 or 16-year-olds, and for real people. I spend time with your children. So they think, okay, here's God.